Hi everyone, Jamie here. Thank you for watching today. So in this video we're going to be creating this Mother's Day card. So this is the last video in my Mother's Day series, and I've created a playlist which I'll link just here on the top right hand corner. You can go and have a look at the projects that I've shared. So lots of 3D sort of makes, gift bags and boxes for some inspiration for you. But let me talk you through today's card. So the inspiration for this has come from Call Me Crafty Al, and she does a series called Sheet Load of Card. So the idea is to use up your pattern papers, make multiple of the same design, and it's a really easy template to follow. So the design that I'm following is from September 2023, based on a 5x7 card. I've just looked at the design and used my own measurements for this. As I said, the idea is to make multiple of the same design, but I've just made this one for today's video. So I'll just hold that up a little closer so you can see all that lovely detail. There's gorgeous pattern papers from Simply Made Crafts and the ephemera to go with it. Happy Mother's Day, ma'am. And some Nouveau drops which are still drying to add a little bit more interest and texture to the card. So I prepared all my pieces off camera, and I have a piece of green cardstock that measures 10x7. So along the 10-inch side, score at 5 and then fold and burnish, and that gives you your 5x7 card base. I've then got a piece of white cardstock. Just burnish that a bit more because it's still a bit bouncy. That's better. And I've then got a piece of white cardstock that measures 4.5 by 6.5, and that's going to sit just over the top there. I'm going to glue this flat to my card base, and I'm going to go ahead and do that now, so we can sort of build the card as I give you the measurements. So I'm just going to place that in the center there. I've also got an additional piece of white cardstock of the same measurement, 4.5 by 6.5, to go on the inside of my card base. This will help balance it out, strengthen the inside of the card, but also gives you a space then to write your message. Next, I've got two pieces of this pink pattern paper, and I'll talk you through all the supplies I'm using shortly. So this measures 1 by 6.25. As I said, two pieces of that, so it's going to have that sort of 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch border just there. And then I've got a piece of pattern paper, I think it's that orientation, yeah, that will sit in the center of those two pink panels, and this measures 2 by 6.25. So again, I'm going to attach these flat to my card base because I've got another panel that's going to sit over the top of this, and I want to add some dimension with that, but also with the ephemera pieces that I'm going to be using. So I do like dimension on my cards, but if you prefer them to be flat, then just add all your layers flat to your card base. So before I talk you through the next set of measurements, I'm just going to bring in the supplies that I'm using. You can just get an idea. This is a continuation of my Mother's Day series. So I've made a gift basket or hamper for my mother and my mother-in-law. So you'll see sort of a difference in the different pattern papers that I'm using. So I like to sort of have a theme throughout and follow that pattern paper, and it's great for just using up those packs of 12x12 or packs of cards that you may have and they're not being utilized in your craft room. So the ephemera pieces that I'm using is just a floral element. So this is from Simply Made Crafts, and this is Bohemian Days ephemera, and on the back there you've got an indication of all the pieces that you have inside. So I think I bought 3 packs because I like to have lots of elements on my card. The stamp that I'm using for Happy Mother's Day is the Ultimate Sentiment Builder, and this is from Paper Ink Stamp. So this is Jessica. She has her own YouTube channel and she sells a variety of things on Etsy. So I'll link this in the description box below. I've then got the Creative Craft Products Circle Nesting Dies. I've used the Made to Surprise Chunky Alphabet die set and the Bohemian Days paper pad. So anything that's still available I will link in the description box below. But this style of card is quite versatile, so you know you can use this with what you have in your stash. So I've then got these 2 panels that will sit just over here, and this circle that I've just trimmed a bit off will just sit sort of there. I've got the words ma'am. I'm going to have that more towards the sort of right hand side, and then I've got this piece of ephemera there. So let me just give you the last measurements. So this white piece is 5 by 1.5. Then the green piece is 5 by 1.25 to sit over the top there. This circle was just under 3 3/4. And as I said, I've trimmed a bit off there. I've stamped Happy Mother's Day. I think I'm just going to add a little bit more detail to this using maybe some Nouveau drops, just to fill in that white space. And I'm going to pop this strip and the circle up onto some foam. Put my teeth in, and I'm also going to pop that up on foam as well, just to give this card some lovely dimension. So I think what I'll do, I'll attach those together, then place this over the circle and pop all of that as a sort of one panel up onto some foam, and then lastly add that. So I'm just going to pop you on high speed while I do that. So there's everything now added. As I said, I'm going to fill in that white space with some Nouveau Jewel drops, and this is the orange marmalade, and I thought you just pick out some of those orange tones within the pattern paper. I'm just going to do a little tester. So this one dries translucent, so you'll just have that sort of hint of colour in those drops. There we go. You can tap this so they can self-level, and you obviously want to make sure that you've got a flat surface when you add those and let them dry. So I like to let mine dry overnight, make sure that they're nice and hard. They sort of take a few hours, but when you start to put that little bit of pressure on them, they will flatten out. So that's why I like to leave mine for a bit longer. So I'll just hold that up a little closer so you can see all that lovely detail. I just love that pattern paper. The pink really pops against that lime green, and I think it's turned out really lovely. I've gone sort of quite simple with my decoration, which is quite difficult for me. I'm finding it hard with that sort of white space. I feel like it should be filled, but I think it's turned out lovely. As I said, those colours work so great together, and it's a really bright and vibrant card. I really like this style of sketch. As I said, don't forget to check out Crafty Al, and Any products, all the video links and everything will be in the description box below. So I really hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit the like button. If you have some time to leave me a comment, I'd also appreciate that. And if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future tutorials. I hope you have a lovely crafty day, and I'll see you in the next one.